In this video, I'm going to look at using the AND function to enable us to test more conditions in an if function. So the AND function allows us to test two or more conditions, two or more logical conditions, and actually it can accommodate up to 255 logical conditions, which is quite a lot. But the thing that you need to remember about the AND function is that each condition that you specify in it has to be true, otherwise the whole statement is false. If one or more of those conditions, or all of them, is false, then the whole statement is false. So for example, in this particular exercise, we're going to look at whether or not the employees meet the criteria to be eligible for the 401k plan. And in order to do that, the employee needs to be full-time and employed for 1 or more years. So if both of those conditions are met, then the value is true and you can calculate the 401k contribution. If either one or both of those conditions is false, then the person isn't eligible for the 401k plan and the contribution is 0. So let's go ahead and switch to the worksheet and add that column. So this particular column we're just going to call 401 parentheses K. And as you recall from the last video, the table will automatically expand. And so with cell O2 selected, I'm going to go back to the Insert Function button on the formula bar, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to start out my function with an if. So I'm going to select if and click OK. So in the logical test portion, I'm going to insert my AND function. So I'm going to type AND in all caps, open parentheses, and the first condition we're going to test is whether or not that person's job status, which is in column G, is full-time. So my first test is G2 equal quote FT. So that's the first condition. I'm going to type a comma to specify another condition, and that second condition is whether or not their years of service is greater than or equal to 1. So M2 greater than equal to 1, close parentheses. So what I wanted to do, if the value is true, then is to go ahead and calculate that 401k contribution. And so the 401k contribution is the annual salary times 0.03. So K2 times 0.03. Okay. If the person is not eligible, there will be no contribution, so I'm just going to put 0 there. So I'm done entering the arguments for the function. I'm going to click OK, and I see that it's calculating all the way down the column. I'm going to take a moment to evaluate whether or not my function is working correctly. So for this particular person in row 2, I see that their job status is full-time and that they have worked at least 1 year. So it's doing what I want it to do. If I go down a little further to row 6, I see that this person is full-time, but they haven't worked 1 or more years. So their contribution should be 0 because they are not eligible for the 401k plan. And then my last step in this particular function is to select the column as we did before and apply the accounting number format so that it's clear that that will be a deduction from payroll. And I am finished then with my AND function.